bidding on LTV is stupid, and I think it's a mistake for most businesses. The business model matters a lot. So for Breeze, where they have a subscription, totally makes sense. But we're in a terrible customer category. Like men as the core customer on a single line purchase is the worst. I'll tell you, like even in the current era of Meta, like we are still first purchase profitable, but it's not because of things we're doing on Meta.
Kyle Yeoman, president of Groove Life, and he's got a lot to say that we need to hear. Get in here, Kyle. Get in the show.
Oh, we're here. Okay.
Yes. You're here, brother. You are here, my friend.
Yeah, anyway. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, brother, we want you on the show, and you need to be here. For those who don't know of you, Kyle has done so much work in a sector of our e-commerce community that I know and love. I fondly refer to it as the manosphere. It's brands for mans, okay, or it's man brands. That's what one country, okay, the behemoth that is one country, 2 tours of duty at Groove Life. You are now on your second tour of duty at Groove Life. Is that fair, Kyle?
Yeah, that's true.
And this, to me, what's really compelling is that Groove Life is what we all want to be. Started with a Kickstarter, literally, many, many years ago. Okay, obviously not there now. You guys are in Bass Pro and Cabela, one of the cemented winners in our space. That's how I see it. Kyle, if you would, just give us perspective, man, on what has changed inside the business from 2019 until now and how things have developed.
Yeah, no, that's a big question. And Peter Goodwin, our founder, started the business in 2016. That's when he did that first Kickstarter. He was out of Alaska when he did that, raised $18,000. You can go see it still.
Still up.
Yeah. Same for the belt. We did the Groove belt on Kickstarter, and then also the Groove wallet a couple years ago. No, but I mean, the business has changed in a lot of ways, and in other ways, not at all, right? So we're bootstrapped. We've always been bootstrapped. It's kind of like a core principle of ours is that we're going to be profitable. We're going to chase profit before we chase growth. But I think the business has gotten a lot more complicated, right? As you go from 10 million to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60, everything just kind of compounds. And so we talk a lot about the valleys of death, right? And the things that got you here will not get you there. And trying to figure out what to keep and what to let go of matters a lot, right? So this is a little bit ethereal at this point, but even like inventory becomes a huge headache, right?
Yeah.
Like scale. Well, how do you have enough cash to buy for your big seasons and Father's Day and Black Friday without bankrupting the business along the way if you're bootstrapped? That's a big challenge that necessarily wasn't, there early on. So, I mean, there's tons like that, but I think trying to keep things simple is the biggest thing that we're doing now.
I find this, and of course, this bootstrapped, profitable in every stage conundrum that we all want, but find difficulty in getting to. I know my old boss, Guard Mayor at Bruce Bolt, he would be singing your praises right now because that's how he foundationally has built Bruce Bolt in the same way. But I think largely in our space, and we've had people, very smart people, Kyle, on the show tell us now, hey, first purchase profitability, it's a new era now on Meta. Forget about it. You got to chase LTV. But I think from your standpoint, what Groove Life is doing is probably still really important to you. And you have not yet given up on first purchase profitability. Is that fair?
That's fair. Who's really hot on LTV? I don't want to offend anybody who's...
We just had Colin McGuire on here, Colin from Boomin, who's building Glimmer. And then you'll see Nick Shackelford, who's obviously, scaling Breeze. He'll talk about the same kind of thing. Jordan Menard, who's growing Instant Hydration, a lot of people.
Him's big on it.
Yeah. Him, same thing. And I think the thought is like, you don't make your money on the first purchase, you make your money on the customer. Have a category and a workflow such that you can glean and grow with the life of that customer.
Well, let me add a caveat. The business model matters a lot, right? So for Breeze, where they have a subscription, totally makes sense. But we're in a terrible customer category. Like men as the core customer on a single line purchase is the worst. I don't know why.
That's good. Hey, Eric from Beard Brand would say the same thing. He would say the same.
Bad one.
Yeah. So, and this is why I have a hard time. This is why I'm not on Twitter or X. This is why this is actually the only time I've ever been on a podcast sort of set up like this, is because it's really hard to talk about these things without nuance, right? Or context.
Sure.
I think it matters a ton. So assuming that you take some of the nuance and context, and all these guys are really smart, I think bidding on LTV is stupid, and I think it's a mistake for most businesses if you're trying to be profitable and be around for more than a couple of years. It is interesting. Meta's pushing, I don't know if you all saw this, but I got an email a few months ago about a test they were doing on predictive LTV bidding. Did you guys see any of those?
I did not see that.
But basically, advertisers are testing bidding as PLTV as the optimization event, which I think further supports, right? They're going to try to maximize their pricing power to say, if your customer's worth 200, we're going to charge you 100. But I think in general, moving to LTV is more of a crutch. It's a little bit of a lazy move. And not all, right? Like, again, not these business models where it makes sense. That's great. But for Groove to do that would be a huge mistake. We would be in a world of hurt if we moved to LTV.
Kyle, follow-up question for you. You just said men's is probably one of the worst categories to advertise into right now.
Yeah.
How are you bifurcating that out where it is not, I'm going to advertise to this guy, I'm going to advertise to his significant other, to his wife instead, who's actually going to be making that purchase? Are you thinking like, all right, I'm going to try to target 20% of my ads are going to target the male, and then 80% of my ads are going to actually be retargeting his partner to make that purchase? How are you thinking through that?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I'd actually love your all's feedback on this if you have any thoughts. We do less of the very specific, like this ad is for the woman in his life, right? So you need to get him this because he's special, and more things that just make her laugh too. So one of our best videos that we've ever been able to spend behind on YouTube, if you look it up, it was so popular that people were searching for it, trying to find it again, right? So we finally had, I think, 45 or 60 million views now. I don't know the number exactly.
Brother, what video is this? Man, that's crazy.
It's old. It's does he take his ring off at the gym? Is the ad.
Oh,
right. And it's basically like your man's taking his ring off at the gym, and it's a problem, right? And so the casting of this woman whose husband takes his ring off, you might as well be advertising that he's available, right? And so
that's amazing.
It's not the direct, like, your man needs this to look better, right? It's just playing on a funny dynamic between husband and wife, right? And so, like, we found a lot of success doing that sort of thing. So that's how we think about it. Like, how do you drive engagement and interest in something relatable that's funny, right? Because Peter, our founder, talks about this a lot. We're all asking for something from the customer, right? Give us attention and then give us your money. And so what's value that we can provide on the front end? And humor is a great way to provide value.
That's a great point.
Before asking for anything. So that's kind of been the model that we do for the female attention.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Chris and I covered this on the show last week, that we found that a lot of people are getting lazy with the advertising, where like you can bake in humor and it's still really great, and you're still getting a great click-through rate, and you're getting a great thumb stop rate. And it's just that humor takes nuance, and it takes thinking through and actual context to the product. And it's that extra level that you're willing to go to actually relate and make it funny. Then it just like the quote unquote lazy man's marketing, where it's just like, oh, here's my thing. Right.
And I think this is where I say, like, LTV is lazy, right? The way people move there, because the model that used to work, where it's like you just spend money and make $3 every dollar you spend, it doesn't work anymore. Sure. But that's because it was lazy marketing to begin with. We all just were fat and happy, right? It's like, yeah.
I think that a point that, hey, it's Alex recently articulated, and I think about this when it comes to man brands, because I agree with you. It's a difficult category. It's difficult. It's difficult because they don't have the main purchasing power. They're not the usual buyer inside of the household. Yep. And it takes a significant amount of time to earn their trust. Once you do, they'll stick with you for life, but you have to have a number of other things that they will buy. Right. Poncho, as an example, a local company here. Once they earn my business, I bought like 10 shirts from them. Why? Because I already like it. But if I'm going to spend more money with them in the future, they've got to release other things. Western polos. Are they going to get into the shorts game? Are they going to get into the pants? Or what else can they create that is going to draw my dollar? And I think, to me, this makes a lot of sense for what you guys have done on the catalog side of not just rings, but then belts, everyday carry belts, now phone cases, and now Apple Watch bands. And there have to be more things that are going to draw that dollar. Is that how you guys have been thinking about, merchandising and such?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We don't have it all figured out, so I'll just start there. We make tons of mistakes.
You do, Kyle. You do.
But
You have it figured out. I know you
no,
do.
we don't. Trust me. But I think we've made a bunch of pivots, right? So it used to be we did start thinking about it that way, right? It was like, well, let's do wallets, but the thing is that all those take attention and ad spend, right, and movement, and they increase carrying costs, and right, like it just is a headache, especially if they're not the exact same customer. So I think one mistake we made was instead of creating products that the existing customer will buy. So, for example, a silicone ring, that same buyer will buy a watch band probably, right? They're one and the same.
Yeah.
The guy who buys a belt and the guy who buys our wallet aren't necessarily the same person.
That's a good point.
And that's been a challenge for us. So one of the things that we're trying to say is let's go back to our core verticals, and then instead of expanding out by product category, which has a lot of complexity, let's go by interest set. So how do we get you, Chris, to buy 4 belts for different activities, right? Like are you into, what are you into? You're into concealed carry. Okay, this is your concealed carry belt. This is your daily wear belt. And going more about it that way, because I think it's a lot more efficient way to grow the category versus just trying to introduce net new. Unless it's a real, go back to LTV. Unless it's an LTV builder that makes sense, which is great. That's gravy. But to actually grow the business in a meaningful way, I think it's harder than just launching a new product. At least that's what we found.
That's a good point about interest set. It's not just, hey, here are more things that these same people will be interested in, but really narrowing in on that persona that's already has an affinity or previous purchase for something specific inside.
Well, I have a question for you all. I mean, we found that if you don't do that, it can be cannibalistic, especially as you grow, right? I don't know if you've seen that or what. Like, what's your take on the LTV, both of you? What's your take on LTV and how that works?
Chris, you got one? I got one. But I don't think anyone.
Well, here's my uncomfortability. My uncomfort with the LTV game is that we can't look into the future. We don't actually know how much money that customer is going to give us. Now, we can use all the data that we have to project, but what we have is cash today. And so, especially if you're trying to make money, and everybody knows that the biggest difficulty inside of our space is making money on the brand side. It's actually profiting. It's not an easy game, even though we love the internet. Based on the background that I have, it's hard. It's hard to go for the LTV game. I know I see it if you got the right product, but it's hard for me. What do you say, Colin?
I think every brand on earth should have a hook subscription product. What do I mean by that? You should have a moderate to low cost subscription product that you can hook your consumer in with. So you're just getting them into the ecosystem, more so because I want all of that customer data. I want what their name is. I want what their email is. I want what their phone number is, because then I'm going to remarket them to death around all of our surrounding products. At the meantime, I'm going to be getting and breaking up that LTV a little bit higher over time because they're on that subscription drip. And so we can actually see who that subscriber is relating to from our umbrella ecosystem.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know. So I'm skeptical too, but I like it. And so maybe I don't want to put you on the spot because it's very hard to do it real time. But after this,
sure.
If you have an idea for Groove, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Just give it to us now, Colin.
No, I don't.
No, I won't do it now.
I will say.
Okay. Let me think about it.
With the LTV, right? Are you actually changing behavior? So this is my trouble with loyalty programs too, for the most part.
Oh, I got a big problem with loyalty programs.
Because, again, restaurants every business is different. But for example, I buy at this restaurant near me all the time. I'll get a random email for $15 off. I was going to buy anyway, and they just gave me $15 back, right? Yeah. So I think that's one big problem.
Sure.
And then two, I think sometimes with LTV programs, we're just pulling revenue forward. So is it actually incremental revenue that we're doing, to try to reduce LTV, or we're just taking future revenue and stealing it? Those are two big questions I have. If people have answers, I'd love to hear them, because these are things I think about all the time.
This is going to sound a little black hat, okay? It's not, okay? It's not black hat. But we all know, I just experienced this myself, okay? I signed up for 2 subscriptions, okay? I totally forgot they existed, okay? Mm-hmm. That company, both of those companies have been getting my money for several months. Why? Because I forgot they existed. I did not see any of their communications. If they had tried to retarget me, get me into more of their catalog, what they have to offer, I would have remembered and canceled the subscription.
Right.
So, I mean, just a little bit on the subscription game. It's like, if you can get me in and then never talk to me again, which is illegal, but if you can legally do what you need to do, and then hopefully I don't see it, actually it's a win for you. So I just, I kind of dance a little bit on the subscription.
I disagree completely, because you want to get that customer data at the lowest physical cost possible so that you can throw them into any ads platform physically as a CSV and then retarget them for as low as cost as physically possible.
Okay.
I like it. I like different. I change my mind all the time. So you might be able to change my mind in the next 24 hours, and then I'll write something about it.
I would say it's a small enough lift, hypothetically, where if it doesn't work out within 3 to 4 months, you can roll it back and none's the wiser. But the upside of it is so much that I think you have to take the shot on goal at least. It might not hit, but if it hits, I want 25% of all of them.
Kyle, let me ask this. And you are not on X, which part of my goal over the next month or two is to get you on X. Okay.
He doesn't need it.
He does. No, we do. He doesn't, but we do.
Need it.
Okay. We do. And let me say, I know that you are committed to doing a greater good for the e-commerce community. Why? Because your Substack exists. Okay. It exists, and you're putting great stuff out there.
Oh, thanks.
Let me ask you this. In this vein, what if there are marketers, founders who are just saying, hey, Meta doesn't work for me anymore? Last year was great. Now it's not. I need a plan B. I've got to do something else. What wisdom would you offer them? Just from your perspective, you're writing your musings.
It's an impossible question. I don't know, other than I think it surprises me how bad it's, because marketing has a low barrier. Everybody gets into it and everybody thinks they're an expert.
Sure.
So I think my only advice would be go back to first principles and figure out how to talk to people and drive a psychological, right? Like treat them like you would a patient, and you're trying to how do you irritate the pain that they're feeling? How do you go back to the fundamentals? Because I'll tell you, even in the current era of Meta, we are still first purchase profitable, but it's not because of things we're doing on Meta. It's because of our product pages, and our messaging there, our imagery, and right. So I think it's just, my advice would be focus way less on the platform and focus way more on your actual pitch.
Bars.
And then it'll sort itself out, because it's just distribution, right? Meta's just distribution, just like TV or YouTube or Google or any other places, just like GPT. It's like GPT is not going to save your business. Like if your product and your storytelling suck, it's not going to sell either way. So anyway, that would be my.
That was a little Sarah Levenger digging into the psychology, motivations, and then there was a little hey brother, check out that landing page. What's that LP look like? What's that imagery look like? That was a good sprinkling there.
There's lots of people that, so I'll prop Nate.
Nate Lagos, baby.
He did a little. He talked to Groove a little bit about our landing pages. His headline testing and stuff, and we saw a big lift. And he's like, you know what? You're right. He called me out on this. You're not paying attention to your landing pages. That's fair. That's a good point. We should focus a lot more there. Yeah. So it's similar to your point on subscription, right? A subscription drip offer. It's it's already getting there. Get more value out of it. So I think that's a good call out. But what would you all say? What's in your mind? What's the plan B for people?
Well, here, I'll just, not that they are sponsors of the show. Okay.
Yeah.
But what I would say from my experience is everybody needs to go check out AppLovin. You should just take the free money and try it. You should,
free money's good.
Yeah. They're giving a ton of credits.
They're offering credits, and maybe it's not a match for everybody, but older population. Yeah. Boomers got all the money anyway. Why not try it? Just roll it out and give it a little test. Why not try it? I'll just throw that in as an addendum. What would you say, Colin?
Also, Chris, the YouTube, basically Google, YouTube rolling out that QR code scanning CLTV campaign. I mean, that's just like that's a fun new toy to play around
Shiny.
with, where it's like, we've already seen brands doing it. I mean, I've been hit up nonstop. Like Muggsy Jeans wants me to buy jeans. Like you wouldn't believe.
Muggsy wants you, bro.
And
They
so-
are after you.
They want me bad. They want me bad. So there's some brands that I keep getting hammered with. So I would check that out for sure. That's really exciting. And if you got $200,000, check out OpenAI
why
ads.
not? You know, just.
I am excited about OpenAI ads.
No, be
Yeah.
real.
No,
Be
I
real.
am.
Be so
I
for
am.
real.
No,
Come
I don't
on,
know.
bro.
Okay.
Long term, think about it. It's siphoning off search volume. So all of our.
I said this to Chris. This was
Okay,
my
so we're all
argument
the
to
same
Chris.
page here. It's
Yeah.
you and me versus Chris.
Yeah.
What, Chris? Why are you against it?
Oh, brother, look, right now, there's very
Yeah.
little metrics that they can offer anybody. It's just,
This is the
please,
issue.
hey, at first it's $1 million commitment. Now news comes out today.
Yeah.
Oh, actually 200K. Well, actually there's
Yeah.
even lower than that. Okay. 100K, 150K. And what am I going to get? We can tell you impressions. We can tell you how many clicks you got, but outside of that,
No clicks. No clicks.
no clicks. Well,
No clicks
okay.
still.
Well, I saw a little something today. Maybe they can say clicks, but anyway, the whole point is impressions, and there's very little that they can offer you other than, hey, we'll get this in front of. Like, no, I'm not. For a $60 CPM, I can get CPMs cheaper elsewhere.
Crazy.
But do you think it'll stay there? Or do you think they'll end up getting into a pricing model that makes sense and a dashboard?
They have to.
Well, they better.
I think
have to.
long term, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because it is crazy. We had an
Long-term,
audit. There's millions of searches basically. So we do really well in like organic, right? Just general SEO. Decent. We could be better, but we could be better.
Nice.
We are terrible on the AI front right now. And I think a lot of people are because we don't know how to play it, right? It's just a different game. There's so much search volume we're missing out on because of AI summaries and then search siphoning. So I think that's the thing I'm really interested in moving forward is how do you get back into that search volume, right? Because it's basically just been getting knocked off for the last little while. But to your point, Chris, it is a waste of money, I think, right now, probably.
I think down the road, hopefully it gets cheaper. They better be careful though, Kyle. I wonder if OpenAI goes bust, man. I really do.
That's a hot take.
I do. I wonder if they go bust.
They're trying to IPO
Yeah, they
this
are.
year.
And they're doing it as fast as
They have to.
possible. Why? Because they're getting their lunch eaten. They're getting that lunch eaten.
Money.
Gemini, Google, XAI, SpaceX, IPO, Claude. I mean, watch out, Sam. Or just give us an incredibly cheap, effective ad product and let all the dollars flow in. How about that?
That's a good idea.
This
That's
was the
good.
argument. This was the argument Chris and I made so aggressively. We were like, just undercut Zuck by 50 to 60%.
Yeah.
Make it simple and make this so I can sell my boss so easily on this. And then cool, you make that guy look like a hero. The business makes a bunch of money, and then everybody just shifts all their money over to you.
Well, you can tell they have no one working there who knows ads, right? Otherwise, they roll it out a little bit differently.
Well,
Which is crazy. They poached a bunch of meta people. So you would be like, yo, figure it out.
Here is my pitch. They need to offer Kyle Yeoman a very generous consulting package. Just a few $100,000 per hour.
I just want ad credits.
Oh, ad credits. Okay.
Yeah,
How about that?
I
Just
like
a
that,
few
yeah.
$100,000 in ad credits per hour.
Maybe
And-
a million. I think a million, actually.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Get a case study.
We'll give them 2 case studies for $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the real question, Chris. Have you gotten your Mac Mini yet? Do you have your?
No,
No?
I almost did it, and Colin talked me out of it. Colin was, he was just
not.
no. But I did almost get it. I did.
Yeah.
I almost did. Claude and Cowork and Moltbook. I want my agent talking on Moltbook. I want him top of his game. Colin said no. Colin said no. So we'll see. But hey, I will say I haven't even pitched this to Colin yet, but I'm going to pitch him on us having our own AI agent who has a digital representation that creates content on our behalf and is a character on the show. I am going to pitch.
I love it. It's high risk. It might go off the reservation.
Yeah, it could drain all my bank account. I mean, who knows?
Got to go
Gotta
for
try.
it.
Kyle, you did some great jujitsu here, and you ended up interviewing us a little bit, which I appreciate. You're a humble man, but we know you're also a busy man, and we appreciate you coming on the show. Before you go, would you give us just 30 seconds on where people can follow you, stay up to date, the Substack, all the things?
Yeah, just LinkedIn or Substack. That's it.
Come on.
That's the whole thing.
I may make an X account for you. and just have it auto post your Substacks.
It's not a lot. It's not
That's so
long
cool.
form enough. It makes me nervous. You can't have any nuance and context are really important, and that's why I try.
This guy doesn't know about Twitter articles.
Twitter articles are a thing, man. Yeah.
He doesn't even
I'll
know.
just post them on your behalf.
Okay,
We'll set that up.
Yeah, there you
Set
go.
that
I
up.
think I'm going to be in Austin here in a few months, so
I think you are.
we'll catch up in person.
I think we're planning on going to dinner, is what I think.
I think we are. Yep.
I think we are.
Really good.
Kyle, we appreciate you coming, man, and we look forward to having you again, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate
Yeah.
you, brother. Wow.
Absolutely.